Hello guys and gals, Buffalo here. Welcome back to the range. I recently picked up this Maverick 88 fully rifled slug gun. Saw it at my local gun shop, and I didn't have a shotgun barrel that was fully rifled. So I've always been limited to smooth bore, shooting slugs through a smooth bore or maybe a rifled choke. So this is my first fully rifled barrel shotgun, and that's why I picked it up. It was a hole in my collection, and I've done several slug videos on this channel. It's something that a lot of viewers seem to enjoy. They always get a good view count and a lot of comments on them. And this will let me be able to test some of the slugs that are designed to be stabilized by a fully rifled barrel. I've done videos on a Maverick 88 before. I've got a couple of the smoothbore Maverick 88s. Both have been really good shotguns over time. This one I have not shot yet, so I expect that it's going to be just fine as well. We are going to get around to shooting it in today's video. But first I wanted to go over it real quick. Like I say, I have covered the Maverick 88 before, so some of this stuff is going to be redundant. But this is a little bit different model, so some of the things are going to be different, like these sights here. This one has a 24-inch barrel, of course, I already mentioned, fully rifled, chambered for 3-inch shells. You can shoot the 2 3/4 in it as well. Capacity of 5 in the tube plus 1 in the chamber. Has a set of rifle style sights on it, as you would expect. Has a brass bead dovetailed in place there on a pedestal on the front. The rear sight is a Williams fully adjustable U-notch sight, adjustable for elevation and windage. I'm going to try to get some better footage in there for you. This camera is not picking it up real well in this lighting, but I do see some marks, some index marks there for the elevation. I don't see any for the windage, but it looks to be a solid little sight. The steel parts, like the barrel and the magazine tube on this shotgun, have a blued finish. Now that yellow piece, that's just a piece of plastic they put on there when it's new. Being a Maverick 88, it is part of the Mossberg line. The receiver is a aluminum alloy, and it's anodized. It does not come drilled and tapped from the factory. So if you wanted to add a scope to this shotgun, you would either need to have that done or to use some other kind of mount, like a saddle mount or something like that on this shotgun. Has a cross bolt safety just forward the trigger guard here, and the action lock is at the rear of the trigger guard. The trigger guard and the entire trigger group assembly there, the housing, is polymer. Of course, it has the synthetic stocks. Has a 14.5-inch length of pull, and it comes in at about 6.7 pounds according to my little scale. And now I know that's upside down for you guys, but that's about the best I can do with it here. In a nutshell, the Maverick 88 is a Mossberg 500 with a crossbolt safety instead of the Tang safety. They're very similar shotguns. You get the same steel to steel lockup. You get the same dual extractors as the Model 500. The same twin action bars. If you had a Mossberg 500 of the same gauge and capacity, most of your parts are going to swap back and forth. They're going to interchange. They're basically the same shotgun. This one, the Mavericks, are assembled at the Eagle Pass plant in Maverick County, Texas, which is where they get the Maverick name. And they're assembled from parts made outside the U.S., predominantly Mexico. So that's how they keep the cost down on these. These are quite a bit less expensive than the Mossberg 500s. I paid $250 for this one at my local shop. I think MSRP on them is somewhere around $300. So very inexpensive shotguns, very well made. I haven't shot this one yet, once again, but I have shot plenty of the Maverick 88s, and they have always been really well made, really performed as advertised. So we'll hop over here to the bench. I'll show you the slugs that I want to shoot through this first, and we'll do some shooting and see how it goes. Okay, so this is the ammunition I'm going to be shooting today. I am not going to be testing this ammunition, as in I'm not going to be checking the claims of velocities or anything like that. Not shooting it over the chronograph or into any kind of ballistic medium. I'm just trying to get a basic sight in on this shotgun, but I did want to show you guys what I'm shooting. It's the Brennecke USA Super Sabo. Now my local friends are going to call that a Sabot. I don't care how you pronounce it. I know what you're talking about when you use it in a sentence. But these are a 490 grain projectile, 63 caliber, and they are rated at the muzzle at 1,407 feet per second with 2,157 foot-pounds of energy. You can see here it's a pretty wicked looking projectile. I've never really shot anything quite like that. I did break one open, but I'll show you one together here first. Here's what it looks like. Pretty mean looking. And this is the actual projectile. Here's your Sabo or Sabot. And here's the actual projectile. Pretty wicked looking. It says it's lead free, but it looks to be bimetal, two different types there. You've got your center piece, the pointy piece, and then the actual cup. Pretty cool. But all I'm checking today is to see if I can get this thing sighted in. Okay, I've got a target just like this one set up 50 yards down range. It has a 5-inch bullseye. I'm shooting iron sight, so I need to be able to see my target. I'll zoom in on it there and let you guys see what I'm talking about. There it is. I've got it set up in front of a steel target, so you'll probably hear steel ringing as I'm shooting. Sometimes that confuses people. I'm shooting a cardboard target and they hear the steel ringing, but I do that to help save my backstop back there. But I'm shooting from my Codwell lead sled. Of course, this thing's going to keep it nice and stable and easy to shoot. I've got 50 pounds of lead birdshot there in the tray, so recoil will be one less thing I have to worry about while I'm sighting in. Alright, first shots with the Mossberg Maverick 88 fully rifled slug gun. Safety off. Make a fine-tune adjustment here with the lead sled. Right about there looks good. Here we go. And I did hear steel, so that means I hit the paper. The steel was smaller than the paper, but I can't tell from here where I hit. I'm gonna have to go down and take a look. You guys can see it, I can't see it. Holy cow, how about that? Right out of the box, first shot with the Super Sabo Brenneckes, and we are pretty much touching the bullseye right in the dead center, so it's just a fuzz to the left. That hole was so clean in that cardboard, it looks like a wad cutter. If you've ever shot wad cutters out of like a 38 or something, that's the kind of clean holes that they leave. Well, was that a fluke? I've got another one in here. Heard steel, but again, I can't see anything. I'll have to go down and take a look. I didn't measure it. It looks to be about 2.5 inches lower on that second shot. So let's take a third shot. I can't see it. Alright, so that one is back up here close to the other one, the first one. This is the first one, second one, third one. You guys know that, you saw them in real time when they hit. But I'm not sure what happened with the second one. That was probably me, but still, that's a 2.5 inch group for the first 3 shots fired out of that shotgun. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot another one and see if it's with these or if he hits somewhere else here. Alright, slight change of plan. I actually took the old target down, put us a brand new fresh target up, and we're just going to start from scratch and shoot another 3-shot group and see if I can't do any better this time. I will speed this one up so you guys don't have to sit through another boring group. So here's a close-up of that group. It's about identical to the first group. From center to center, it's a little less than 2.5 inches, probably 2 3/8 inches on the farthest 2 holes apart. Look how clean those holes are. You can tell those things are really stable. They're hitting nose first and cutting that hole out like a wad cutter. And here's the first group, the one where I had that low shot. Again, about 2 3/8 inches, so pretty much identical group sizes. I'm not going to make any adjustments to my sights until I sit down and test several different slugs and see which ones it likes. This thing is just like any other gun. You got to find what it likes and what it doesn't like. And if I do find something that it really likes, I'll make another video and show you guys. This gun is clear. The trigger on this gun is certainly not what I would call a great trigger. It's a satisfactory trigger and what you would expect to find on a gun of this price range. It's pretty heavy and it doesn't break all that consistently. I'm not complaining about it. For the price point, it's just fine. I'm just saying it's not a trigger you would find on a nice deer rifle or something. Broke at 8.5 pounds. So yeah, pretty stiff. Let's shoot a few of those slugs at that steel target here at about 90 yards. I've got 3 rounds in it. I mentioned it is a 5+1 capacity, but it does come with a plug in it for 2 in the magazine and 1 in the chamber. So if you want to get that full 5-round capacity, you'd want to remove your plug. It's in there to comply with hunting laws, so if you are hunting with it, you'll need to look up the laws where you're hunting at to see if you need that plug in there or not. So I've got 3 rounds in it. See how it cycles. It's hard to get a feel for how it cycles there shooting from the bench. Cycle just fine. Let's walk down and take a look and see where I hit on that target. I'll speed this up for you. Not too bad. I'm shooting favoring the right side. Not terrible for standing at about 90 yards. It's a hot day. Why not have us a good old-fashioned water jug killing? After those last shots, I noticed my rear sight was drifted all the way to the right. And after taking a look at it, look at that. Look how loose that is. I don't know if it's been loose since I started shooting this morning or if it shot itself loose, but I'm going to have to tighten that up and put me a dab of blue thread locker on there to hold it in place. Was it loose during this entire video? I don't know. I didn't check it before I started shooting and I should have. Alright, so this shotgun is pretty much what I thought it would be. The Maverick 88 is well known to be a good, reliable entry-level shotgun. Of course, no bells and whistles or anything fancy on them, just good basic shotguns, and this one's no different from what I can see. I know we didn't put a ton of rounds through it today, but with my experience with other Maverick 88 shotguns, I kind of knew what to expect, and this gun met my expectations. I wouldn't put too much weight on those groups I shot today. I was shooting an atypical Slug. I have a bunch more on order. They haven't got here yet. Now I wanted to get out here and see if this thing was sighted in, or if it was even going to be close and be on paper. And I think once we start shooting some more typical Slugs, that those groups will tighten up. Not that they were horrible groups. You know, 2.5 inches at 50 yards with a Slug gun is not horrible, but I think we can do a lot better when I get some other Slugs in. But that's about all I've got to say about it. I mean, just a nice little pump action shotgun that most people can afford, and the way times are right now, that's very important. Affordability. You want to get the most for your dollar that you possibly can, and these are very, very high value as far as that goes. So that's about all I've got. I'll talk with y'all again soon. It's good to be back on the range.